Does your boardroom sometimes feel like a battleground? Directors vying for control or competing to get their own way? What if there was a better way of doing things? Well, there is, and it's called consensus decision making. And in this video, I'll show you the benefits of consensus decision making and the good governance principles that underpin it. Hi, I'm Dr. Jason Talbot. I'm the Managing Director of Graphite I2I, which is a boutique consultancy firm helping clients in the area of governance, strategy and corporate finance, and helping them manage complexity and uncertainty. On this channel, we share a range of videos on topics related to governance, strategy and corporate finance. So please remember to like the videos and hit subscribe so that you stay up to date with all our latest releases. In today's video, we're going to be looking at consensus decision making, the benefits of implementing it in your organisation, good governance principles that underpin it, and a process for how it can be implemented. And stick around to the end and I'll share with you some of the challenges that you're likely to face and how you can overcome them. So what is consensus decision making? Well, consensus decision making is a process of collaboration whereby all members of the group come together to reach a conclusion that they can all live with. Unlike other decision-making techniques such as majority voting or authoritarian leadership, consensus decision-making values the input of each individual within the group to reach a final conclusion. It's founded on the principle that the group as a whole will make better decisions when all viewpoints have been heard and discussed, rather than just relying on a few. It requires a process whereby each individual has the opportunity to speak and be heard, but also to hear from others and potentially have their viewpoint changed. Given the nature of it, the process can take longer than other forms of decision making. However, the output is likely to be much more powerful. The decisions are likely to be much better, and the implementation will be much faster because there is greater support for that decision. It's important to remember, however, that consensus decision making doesn't mean that every individual in the group agrees with every aspect of the outcome. They may still have some reservations, however they're willing to support the decision because they recognise that everybody has been heard and the decision is the best for the group as a whole. There are many benefits that come from consensus decision making, including improved decision making effectiveness. Making decisions through a consensus process promotes involvement and open dialogue by all participants, and this can result in a more in-depth discussion and therefore wiser choices being made. There's increased buy-in from participants. When decisions are made by consensus, each member's input is valued, which may result in an increased buy-in from all members. This can ensure that choices are carried out more successfully and that everyone is striving for the same objectives. Collaboration and team dynamics are improved. Decisions by consensus, which benefit all team members, improve the team dynamics and create a better working environment. There's flexibility and adaptability. Consensus decision-making enables changes and modifications to be made in the decision-making process, which can aid the group in adapting to new knowledge or altering conditions. And it builds trust. Consensus decision-making promotes mutual respect and trust amongst participants, which may eventually result in a more effective communication and collaboration style. The effective implementation of a consensus decision-making process in an organisation should be founded on a set of principles, which are that it promotes active engagement by all participants. Unlike other methods where minority voices or dissenting views are often silenced or discouraged, consensus decision-making must actively encourage all to express their thoughts, ideas and opinions. The opinions of any one person can't take precedence over all other members. The other side of that is it includes active listening and open conversation. All participants must not only have the opportunity to be heard, but must also provide the same opportunity to others. Actively listening to the opinions of others and being willing to adjust one's own views are essential for reaching a consensus. Everyone is encouraged to speak honestly and is also required to listen to others and take their ideas into consideration. It also requires cooperation among all participants. Everyone must cooperate to achieve the group goal of achieving a consensus decision. It's not enough to disagree with another participant. It's okay to disagree, however, the dissenting view must also be willing to offer a suggestion about how the gap in differences of opinion can be bridged. It requires flexibility. When making decisions by consensus, decisions can be changed and adjusted as needed. This implies that everyone is urged to be receptive to fresh concepts and take into account the viewpoint of others. And finally, it requires respect for one another. The foundation of consensus decision making is respect for one another. This means that everyone must respect others' views and take their opinions into account. So when faced with an important decision as a group, how do you actually go about implementing consensus decision making? Start by clearly stating the issue or choice that must be made. Make sure that everyone in the group is aware of the issue or choice at hand before starting the process of consensus. This can ensure that everyone is working towards the same objective and assist to concentrate the conversation. It's also important to ensure that the group has a shared goal of achieving consensus, as this will make it easier to bridge the gap between dissenting views later on. Ensure you've assembled all the necessary data. It's crucial to obtain the necessary information in order to make an informed conclusion. This could entail investigating the problem, conducting surveys, or getting opinions from interested parties. This will also prevent participants attempting to delay the process by saying there is insufficient information available. Establish a clear timeline. Consensus decision-making can be a time-consuming process. However, it's important not to let the discussions drag on without making any progress. Setting a fixed timeline can help achieve this. However, also remember that decisions reached by consensus can often be quicker to implement, so taking a little bit more time in the decision-making may not delay the overall progress. Determine the criteria for making decisions. Everyone will be better able to comprehend the standards by which the decision will be made if the decision-making criteria is specified. This will also make it easier to compare several possibilities and pick a choice between those that satisfy the requirements. The criteria can be developed and agreed by the group making the decision up front before any options are on the table, and then the discussion becomes much more about the criteria and less about debate about different options. Assign roles and duties. To ensure that everyone is involved and that the group works smoothly, roles and duties should be assigned. This could be appointing a facilitator to lead the discussion, or that may be done by the chair, or giving individual participants a specific task to complete, such as background research or minute taking. However, it's important that when you do give participants a specific task, that they also continue to contribute to the discussion. And finally, encourage active participation from all participants. It's essential to ensure that everyone's opinions are heard and considered. This may involve giving members the chance to express their thoughts and viewpoints uninterrupted, or developing a setting where it's acceptable to voice divergent beliefs. It may also be helpful for members of the group to summarise what they've heard and where the key points of convergence and divergence are. The chair or facilitator will have a really critical role in this and making sure that all voices have been heard. If you are the chair or you've been asked to facilitate a consensus decision-making process for some other reason, there are some key things that can help make it more effective, including laying out the ground rules. Setting ground rules can aid in fostering an atmosphere of respect and productive discussion. This could include guidelines for respectful dialogue, active listening, and avoiding personal comments. Encourage open dialogue. Building trust and understanding amongst board members depends on fostering an open communication. When facilitating the process, ensure you give members a platform to express their thoughts and viewpoints and offer a secure environment where opposing viewpoints can be heard. Determine potential impediments, then take action to remove them. Identify potential obstacles such as technology issues, power imbalances, or information challenges, and create plans to overcome them. And I'll say a little bit more at the end of this video about some of the challenges you might face and how you could overcome them. Make decisions using a range of tools. Ensuring all points of view are taken into account and the optimal choice is selected can be accomplished by using a range of different decision-making tools. This could include applying strategies like multi-voting, brainstorming, or consensus decision-making matrix. Follow developments and track progress. Process may be kept on track and a decision can be made more quickly by keeping track of the progress that's been made. It's helpful to remind the group regularly of the progress being made and where the discussion should be focused and where the areas of consensus already lie. And finally, restate and explain the decision. Once a consensus has been reached, restating and outlining the decision is a critical phase in the procedure. This can ensure that the decision is understood by all participants and that it's more effectively carried out. At the start, I promised I'd provide you some tips on some of the common challenges that you might face and how to overcome them. So here they are. Addressing power disparities. All members must contribute to and participate in consensus decision making. However, certain members may find it difficult to fully participate due to power inequalities. So you need to create a space where everyone feels heard and respected in order to address these inequalities. You might do this by actively soliciting the opinions of members who might be reluctant to speak up, or agreeing some of those ground rules up front to make sure that particular people or particular roles don't hold a certain power. Promoting active listening is important because it helps members comprehend one another's viewpoints and develop trust. Establish guidelines for respectful communication and provide members a chance to express their thoughts and viewpoints to promote active listening. It can sometimes also be helpful for those listening to reiterate what they've heard to ensure that they've heard it correctly. Consensus decision making necessitates adaptability and a willingness to compromise, so be prepared to do so. Be open to hearing different viewpoints and willing to consider ideas that might not have been your first choice, and be willing to change your viewpoint when you hear the new ideas. Clarity and transparency in communication can aid in fostering a sense of mutual respect and trust among group members. Sharing information about the decision-making process and the justification for decisions, and then be receptive to criticism and inquiries. Importantly, keep calm. Be ready to be patient. Consensus decision-making can take more time than conventional decision-making techniques. Don't rush the process. Give members enough time to thoughtfully explore the opinions and offer other comments. And finally, be adaptable. Since consensus decision-making is an iterative process, be ready to modify the procedure and process as necessary to best serve the group's needs. I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, please remember to give it a like and subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with all the latest releases. You might also be interested in our range of governance and strategy training courses, and I'll put links in the description below. Or feel free to reach out at online.graphitei2i.com.au if we can assist in any other way. Thanks for watching.